fouled on his way to the basket. And the foul on Tilly. Coming up at halftime, we'll send you back to our NHL Central, Hockey Central studios. We'll have a feature on the Terry brothers, Curtis Terry and Jason Terry, plus stats and highlights of the first half of this one.
Do you notice the recognition? As soon as Lawrence Bora went to the bench, Wink Adams went on the attack. Johnny Bailey's not a bad defender, but he's no Bora, and Wink Adams misses a free throw, which really is critical. He's like Vinnie Johnson. He's got the green light, and players become so much better when they've got that freedom to create without a coach yelling.
86% from the line, one of the top free throw shooters in this part of the country. And Adams has his first point of the game, giving UNLV a 1-point lead.
Ball handlers so good nowadays, it's almost pointless to try to press. Coaches are very worried about giving up easy points, so they just play their half-court defense.
Kepke picked up that dribble, long pass. Terrific play by Utah to survive that one. Give Brown credit. Good work on the baseline, and Utah with their first lead of the game.
And what a delivery off the bounce by Kepke.
Utah with very stingy defense, as they have held 24 of 28 opponents this year under their scoring average in games. Terry to the basket, won't fall, but he's going to go to the line. 2 minutes remaining now as foul is on Kim Tilly, his third personal.
Oh, check out that Magic Johnson gem from about 35 feet away. He put that in about a 3-foot radius hole. That's the only way that pass could have gotten there. It was off the deck. At the foul line is Curtis Terry, and I asked Jim Boylan, Utah's coach, about how you match up against this senior, and he gave him extremely high praise. Get this. He said, Terry is the most underrated player in the entire Mountain West Conference.
Knocks down the free throw. Morgan Grimm has come in for Utah, and there is young Kendall Wallace. He is the nephew of Riley Wallace, the former Hawaii coach who's now retired and spends a ton of time in Las Vegas. Saw him after the last game here last weekend. He's probably in the building somewhere tonight.
Wearing white.
As is everybody else, except for you and I. Johnny Bryant. Green to Dircha. Bryant again with Bailey and a hand in his face. Gets the screen. Bryant to the basket. Kicks it out again. 5 seconds to shoot. Bryant can't get it to go, and a foul is going to be called underneath. That'll be on Morgan Grimm, his first.
You'd have to say the element that is missing right now from Utah's offensive attack is points in transition. They're not going to score a lot against the running Rebels half-court defense, and it creates a huge dilemma for opponents in this building because, well, quite frankly, UNLV is not going to turn it over, and because they're so small, they send 3 guys back in transition. Transition defense is just, it's spectacular.
Shaw can't earn the bonus. And a chance for Utah to retake the lead. Wallace guarding Dircha. Screen from Grimm. Carlin Brown with Corey Bailey. Brown gets around and dumps it off to Grimm for 2. Terrific play by the freshman from Riverton, Utah, Morgan Grimm. And Utah in front for the second time in the game. Trailed by as many as 10. Here's Rougeau.
A little motion offense.
Matt Shaw missed everything, and the loose ball is going to be taken by Johnny Bryant. Here comes Bryant with a finger roll.
And those are the transition points that Jim Boylan desperately needs. And this is where Lon Kruger is so good. End of halves, calling a set play. His playbook is very, very deep. Kind of anxious to see what he runs.
16 and 8/10 seconds remaining in the half. Coming up, go back to our Hockey Central studios. Bill Patrick will have a preview of what's coming up as far as the National Hockey League is concerned on Versus. A feature on Curtis and Jason Terry, plus highlights and stats of the first half. Well, Johnny Bryant with the swipe of the basketball, and he made sure he finished the play.
Yeah, and Johnny Bryant is a huge luxury item because he's accepted his role off the bench. As a senior, you think you're going to come in and put up big numbers and be the man, and the first thing the coach says is, I think you could be a star off the bench for my team. Bryant told me his initial response was, what's the deal? I mean, why do I have to come off the bench? I've been a starter. I've been really good. But he's been a big boy about it. He's accepted his role, and rather than just be okay, he's flourished at it.
Number 1 in the nation in scores among all non-starters in Division I basketball. He's really the epitome of the sixth man. Final shot, Terry. Got it! Curtis Terry with the fadeaway brings it to a 1-point game at halftime. Curtis Terry, 9 points, 7 rebounds. It's a 30-29 lead for Utah. They're 15-2 and they lead at the half. But the home team, the Rebels, have won 20 straight on this floor against conference opponents. We are at the half in Las Vegas. Mountain West Conference basketball. Luke Neville, Rene Rougeau. It's the Rebels and the Utes. Halftime is next on Versus. UNLV campus in Las Vegas. The Utes of Utah with a 1-point lead over the running Rebels, 30-29. Tim McCormick, Tim Neverett here courtside. You know, kind of a surprising first half, but it's kind of first half that Jim Boylan wanted. Slow it down, get deliberate, and then sneak up at the end.
Well, I thought that Utah handled the ball very well. They only had 3 turnovers. They were able to keep the pace somewhat under control. Jim Boylan said he wanted to keep UNLV at 62 or below, so they've accomplished those things. But the key is UNLV has the lead. They played very well. Remember, this is senior day.
And UNLV get out to a 7-0 run to start the ball game. Matt Shaw with one of the big threes.
Yep. If you want to see both of his threes, well, here you go. He pulled Neville away from the basket, got wide open looks, gained some confidence. Also, Curtis Terry, this is the last game in the regular season he'll ever play here. And on the other side, it was the Luke Neville show. Defensively, he's changed a lot of shots. Offensively, he created a lot of problems with his post moves, his footwork. He was able to share the ball a little bit. And I think that he's got to stay out of foul trouble. And watch this right here. Beautiful long-range delivery. I think this is a very well-played game by both. And look at this. Right at the end of the first half, Lon Kruger sets up a play, and it's a beautiful delivery by Curtis Terry.
Look at the Quiznos halftime stats. Field goal percentage 50% for UNLV, 41% for Utah. Bench points in favor of Utah. We expected that. Utah has outscored their opponent's bench in 23 of the last 28 games, and they're making the most of the second chance points. Luke Neville, the leading scorer in the game so far, 12 points. Curtis Terry, the leading scorer for UNLV. Wink Adams with only 1 point for UNLV. He's their top scorer, but right now it's Terry. And Luke Neville will start the second half on the bench. Kim Tilley with 3 fouls will start at the 5 spot for Utah.
I really liked the running Rebels passing attack in the first half. They had 10 baskets, Tim, and 9 of those had an assist. That's always a sign of a well-run offense.
So Wink Adams with the basketball, been very quiet here in the game so far. Darger steps into one. That ball is taken down by Lawrence Bora of Utah.
First couple minutes out of half are always intriguing to me. It's a sign of what the coach saw and what adjustments he's tried to put in with his team in the second half.
Birchall will skip to Green. Now Bora. Defended by Rougeau. Tilly trying to set a screen. Slips down low and scores.